Hey, this is Tracy with Color Me This. I am working on today part 2 of my Prime Day. I went, the previous video, episode 12, was all about my Amazon Basics purchase that I made right after I had bought the 24 and then Prime Day happened. So this purchase that I made was my other big coloring purchase, and that's the Tanmit glitter pens. The Prime Day price was like 21, and the regular price I believe is $24.99. So it is back to its normal price. And the reason why I picked this set of glitter pens after buying the full set of Castle Arts gel pens is because I love my glitter pens. I think I said that in the previous video. So I have swatched everything. I have comments on the pens themselves, what I like, what I don't like about them, and a project. And the one thing that my husband mentioned about the previous video, he goes, "Why do you have a picture of your desk for over a minute?" And I'm like, well, if you would actually listen to the video, I am talking. So I will try to, if I start to talk, have something more interesting for you guys to look at while I am talking. So I'm going to review my Castle Arts. I don't think I have reviewed them to any level of detail, that is. I bought there's only one big set of gel pens. It is a mixture of glitter and neon, swirl, pastel, glitter. I'm out of order here. So these are actually I cut them into fourths so that I can then take these squares and put them alongside if I'm doing any color matching. I think I've said before that for me, gel pens are primarily used for very small embellishing or writing and doodling. So all of my tests include coloring in a box, doing some diagonal lines, squiggles, dots, and the word testing. So I tried to be consistent and use these black blobs, by the way, this one's a duplicate, and this one is me attempting to have the white. And I'm gonna say right off the bat that jelly roll for your whites is the way to go. So none of the whites that I have tried outside of the jelly roll have been white enough. And then if you need it even whiter, you have to go with an acrylic paint pen, of which I have a couple different sets. So this particular Castle Arts set has, I think, 28 glitters. See, here's their glitters. And I have not done a side-by-side comparison of the amount of glitter. These appear to me, they're vibrant colors, but the glitter, I have to look at an angle to see the glitter. If I just look at it straight, I don't even know if you as a viewer on camera can get the glints of the shimmer that they have. So they're really not glittery. They are shimmery because they have little tiny mica flakes in them. So the Castle Arts are scratchy. You can even see some very prominent lines. And then I'm also going to compare the barrel size. The one thing about the Tanmits, they claim that they provide 40% or some high percent more than a standard gel pen's ink. And I have a really good way to test that out. So I will open up the Tanmits in a minute. I have here a variety of gel pens. The jelly rolls, by the way, cannot be opened, I don't think, with ease. So they don't have like a screw top. This white is not something that you can screw off, so I can't test the amount of ink, but I'll tell you that this jelly roll, I have a set of a 5, 8, and a 10, and they have lasted me since I have been on the road the second time. We had a first trailer. That trailer was destroyed in an accident. So for 6 years, these jelly rolls have been the only jelly rolls I've owned. So now I grabbed a Jot. This is Dollar Tree. This is Dollar Store. It has no lid because I will say that one of my Tanmit lids were missing. And so I stole the lid off of one of my cheap Dollar General glitters because the lid is identical. So you'll even notice that the Castle Arts, these all are made, well, that might be a little different, from probably certain factories in China. The little dots, if they have the comfort sleeve, they're all so similar looking. And the silver cap that screws off, they all look virtually identical. So what is different, and it's very similar with colored pencils that are made in China, is that the core, and in this case it would be the ink, this is an old-fashioned ink type reservoir. I'm going to go ahead and open these. The white one is Castle Arts. I tried to pick different colors, so it's pretty obvious. This one here, so this is a Dollar General. This hot pink one is a Jot from Dollar Tree. Here is one of the new Tanmits that I just bought. And I don't know if from the side view you can see a difference. But if you take these and you look at them from the side, now the Tanmit one is the far left. The Dollar Tree one is next to the one on the far left. Then the one next to that is Castle Arts. And then the far right one is Dollar General. So as you can see, by far the biggest one that has actually the thinnest plastic that the ink is in is the Tanmit. So the Tanmit provides way more ink than the other three brands. So the other thing to note is how much you get. I have hardly used this white. Is the only thing I've done with the Castle Arts white is test it, and you saw how poor the test came out. So it's not a pen I would ever use, and it has way less ink in it than the Dollar General and the Dollar Tree. So what I have discovered, it took 3 different packs of the Castle Arts gel pens to get one that I was satisfied with, and this is coming from the pack that I was quote-unquote satisfied with, having nothing to compare it to. And you can see and I paid $19.99. The best pricing I have found for the Castle Arts is $19.99 from their store directly, and they most often have these on sale. Like, they're always on sale. And if they go off sale, they're still on sale for $19.99, way more than they are full price of $29. So I don't like the part where your hand goes on the Castle Arts because they doesn't have the cushion. And if you're going to be doodling and doing anything for any length of time, not having the protective rubber for your fingers does make a difference. So I would say, in general, from the standpoint of quantity for what I paid, which, like I said, was $21 for the Tanmit all glitter, and Tanmit also sells a 240 that is all sorts of gel pens, and I wanted just glitter. So I believe that the Tanmit so far, just in this basic test, is a good value. This particular green was used on a project that I will share with you shortly, and I used a lot of ink in that one. This color is light green. I don't know that I used much of the light green. I was doing teal. So this might be a full not used except for doing the swatch. Then, just for giggles, this is a jot, and the swirl is totally different. The swirl is really cheap and has this plastic, doesn't have the silver or chrome metal, and it still compares. It actually looks bigger than the Dollar General. So this is a cheap jot. I got all 4 of these for $1.25. Let's see how this swirl, and how a swirl works. It's even bigger than the Castle Arts. So basically the color change is from blue to green to pink to orange, and when you buy the 4 of them, each one starts at a different color. So they just will, you'll go through and you'll use up all the blue, then you'll use up all the green, use up all the pink, use up all the orange. So it's kind of silly. I don't get the swirl pen. If the colors changed while you were using it, that would be one thing, but they don't change. It's not like they intermixed the colors. It's just one color to the next, to the next, to the next. So what I did when I got these is I put the lid, this is the blue, and it starts with blue ink. So each lid was not placed for the color that if you use this one, it's going to be blue. So I figure if I ever use these for any particular thing, it'd be nice to know what color I'm going to be getting. Okay, so I won't put all these back together. So we have discovered that Tanmit has a really good, nope, we've got wind all of a sudden picking up. So I'll put all these together later. I do just for fun, I have a set of Bic gel pens. Now these, I think it came with 6 colors. I use these specifically for addressing my envelopes. I have always handwritten out my addresses, my return address. Though now I send so many cards out, I have started printing them. This is the ink reservoir that you get for a Bic. It's a totally different animal altogether, and that's spring-loaded, and they're very nice to write with. They have rubber protective. It's very, very smooth, and I really enjoy, if I have to sit and write out a whole bunch of return addresses, or I mean address from and to on an envelope, and I'm going to do 60 Christmas cards, these are the pens to use. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the case for the Tanmits. So the Tanmits come with a full set of refills. The refills are labeled. There's 2 codes in this set, G for glitter and glitter neon. So GN 1 through 62 and GN 1 through 18 and G 1 through 62. So, and all of these are that fatter ink, and you can see how full they all are. They also came with artwork and a swatch sheet. So the artwork is a smaller size. It feels like a furry, very, very thick cardstock, like, I don't know, like almost watercolor paper thickness. And you've got art on both sides. I'm going to go ahead and digitize these. And the one image that I will share with you colored is this guy here, and I made a mistake and I enlarged it to 8.5 by 11. And that was a mistake, which I will explain later. The only complaint that I have, first you'll see that most of the pens are out that I was using, and I used a lot of them. Every one of them worked. Here's the one that this light green did not have a lid, so I grabbed the Art Alternatives. This was from Dollar General, and it snapped on nice and tight. So I immediately put a cap on that and then left the Dollar General. As you see, it's red glitter and it's just floating around my desk. I'll probably just use it up. What I like is that these are all in color number order from 1 through 62, so it's really easy to find them, to take them out, and then put them back. So that's very nice. And I love the case. I definitely wanted a nicer case than the Castle Arts clear plastic case that came with the Castle Arts. Then, this was the swatch sheet that I got. I started to swatch on the original. This is a copy that I had enlarged. And this, before I even thought about the fact that this probably was the wrong one, because you'll see the G, N, P, S, B, and M. This is for their 240 set. I have tried for the supplier that sold me these on Amazon to get the correct swatch sheet. They do not understand what I am asking for. I see review videos of these with the correct swatch sheet, so I know it exists. They told me that I needed to talk to the Tanmit brand after sales support team. I emailed them. They also don't understand me. They have Chinese writing, so I know they're from China. You would think that they would be able to understand when I say swatch chart for coloring, logging the colors, that they would know what I meant, and they don't. So I'm frustrated. I have not written my Amazon review, but I will be having to talk about the fact that it was missing a cap and that I cannot seem to get across to the people, the supplier nor Tanmit themselves, that I got the wrong swatch chart and I want one. So if any of you have access to a swatch sheet that you have uploaded somewhere that I can download electronically, put it in the comments for me. And let me know if you don't want me to make the comment live. I would love to actually get the correct swatch sheet. So here is my swatch sheet that I made just like the Castle Arts with the exact same criteria. I then cut it into strips so that if I want to do color matching, I can. I went ahead and left, you can see a little overlap of colors. I like all of the colors. I think that the ball on these is also a little bit on the small side. So the ball on the Bic is bigger, and when you roll the ball for the Bic and do the writing, it's really smooth and it's not scratchy at all. So the Tanmits are a little bit scratchy, but they do a pretty decent job. I used my 67 pound for these because I figure that these will probably get used on the 67 pound. The cardstock that I used for the Castle Arts swatches is my Nina. I believe I used Super Smooth. And so it's got a little different feel when you apply it. I find that the 67 pound coloring page paper is not cardstock. It is more like paper, and it does actually fray a little bit more when you are coloring in a full area. And so on that note, I love all of the colors. And I used for my project, I did a full size of this jellyfish, and it took forever, and it was full size. I should not have made it full size. I haven't quite finished it, and I have pulled 3 colors. This is what it looks like, and we can talk about how it felt coloring with the gel pens. I started out coloring with a clip, and I put my paper in this clip, and this paper is 67 pound. So if you use a clipboard, just a regular clipboard like I've done, be very careful. Maybe you can add some sort of cushioning, or don't even do it. I would actually tape your artwork to the clipboard. I would not clip it. Even the artists' clipboards, I find when I use them, I get little marks. And so if you want to not have marks and your artwork goes to the top and maybe you want to mat it or something, don't use the clips on the clipboard. So something to consider. So here's what I colored. I started out, I've got like all of the colors out that I've used. I have used a giant pile of colors. And I do have some logging, like of the purples that I used for the tendrils on the lined art, or the lined segments of the tendrils. I kind of have some notes, purple tendrils. So I tried to keep track. And then because of the leaves, so I did use that light green. That's right here. This light green was one of the greens that I used, G22. So I did some gradients from light to dark. The Tanmits stay juicy and wet long enough that, you know, you don't want to do the light yellow all the way across on all of these half circles. Do one at a time so that you can get your light, medium, and dark colors to blend. And I did not find them drying too quickly for me to do the blending. You can see some blending from the light to the dark. I was able to also blend from blue to the green. This green that I picked was a little bit challenging. It's very mica colored, and it is the pastel, oh, turquoise. Hub has arrived, so I'm going to pause for a minute. All right, I have Hub settled, and I am looking for my blues. Here they are. So I did some different treatments just to play. This is the only art I have ever actually used 100% glitter pens. Usually I only doodle. And I took these two tendrils and I outlined them in silver. The pen that was used the most of this set is the silver. So let's take this silver. I have used this silver all over through here. It's used in the coloring of the purple, many layers of the silver along the tendrils. I lined these two tendrils to color all the black. These two long tendrils actually have V-shaped lines, and you can see I covered those very painstakingly, and then went through and did some spiraling with blending. Used silver here, here, and here. So this was the one I've used the most of, and if I compare it to my green, it doesn't hardly look like I've used any of it. So those of you who have used glitter pens more than I have, let me know how long your glitter pens have lasted. Mine have lasted since I got them. And these Jots I've had floating around forever. I guess it's this pink one. The Bics I've had forever since the beginning of our second travel, so at least 6 years. And I have not run out. So I think that these sets will last a good long while. Now let's compare to Castle Arts. How filled? Yeah, see, Castle Arts, I'm just not very impressed for the $19.99. This white one has only been used to swatch. Here's the silver, and you get so much more. So for $21, I got the refills, and if you buy the 240 because you want all styles of gel pens, you also get refills with that set. And I don't know what the pricing is on that one, but it's going to be very reasonable. So I was going to go ahead and show you, let's get you closer to my subject matter. Sorry, Hub is vacuuming up a little bit of a mess. All right, so you are super close now. And I'm going to take 3 blues, and I'm just going to do the little scallops to finish off this project. I'm going to have to raise you up at least a tiny bit, or my pens won't. There, that should work. Sorry for all the shaky. So you can go dark to light or light to dark. I have actually, being not a gel pen colorist, tried both ways, and it doesn't really matter, I don't find. And I find when I color with these, oh, this might be the darkest one, that I hold them all colors in my hand and I swap them out. This is how I use my Copics. I will hold in my hand four to six Copics maybe. I might want to add a bit of a lighter blue. Now this, so the lighter colors have more, there's two kinds. There's more mica, and then there's these pastels that don't have as much mica in them. The pastel turquoise is this color here, and it has a ton of shimmer. So I'm actually using it to get the ends of this very shimmery. Now I'm going to come back and like blend in the edges with a little bit more of the blue. And it's wet, so the color does change a tad. I don't know if I will regularly color an entire picture with gel pens. I like the feel of it, but I really do like the feel of, sorry if I tapped the phone. Copics and colored pencils. A good colored pencil feels so buttery, but these feel pretty good. They roll around on this, this is a lighter weight cardstock. This is that 67-pound. See over here, it's still wet. See, I'm mixing in a little bit of this brighter blue around the edges of this pastel turquoise as my lightest color. But it was still really fun to actually experiment with coloring with a medium that I have never colored with. Yep, so I hold the caps in my hand. Let's see if I can show you. So my caps get held in my hand, and when I'm done, I will put this back and grab the next one. Now the blues are both so dark, it's hard for me to tell the difference between, my darkest blue is sapphire blue and then capri blue. And then the sky blue and the pastel turquoise are easy for me to tell which ones they are. So that's a little over dark. I kind of did that on purpose. So I can show you that you can flick. You see how I smoothed that out? I mean, these are super juicy. It's almost like you are manipulating ink or a paint with these pens. And if I didn't like the half moon shape, I could go all the way across with the dark. So this one, I'll see if I can make it look a little different. And then the very metallic-y pastel turquoise. And I am leaving some of the black, but if I wanted to hide that black, I have been having pretty good luck with the more metallic-y mica-filled colors. Like this silver, I was able to totally cover the fact that there's any black on that tendril. My goodness, you guys, I don't know if you can hear that wind, but it just picked up right when I started filming. think my favorite color combination when making this, I really enjoyed doing the orange a lot. And I enjoyed the lavender spiral tendrils. Those are my two favorite parts of this to color. I did have the least amount of fun coloring this main body segment. It was very hard to get the pastel turquoise to be smooth. I bet you I've picked 4 colors here, going dark to light, and I bet you I picked too many, that it probably would be better with only 3. Oops, and I picked the wrong one. So let's hide that mistake. So that's the one thing I do like about this particular really metallic. Look, I completely cover. If you make a mistake, you can hide it really easily. And then I go back through and I soften that line. So I think that everybody should get a set of glitter gel pens and do an entire coloring project just for fun, for the experience of it. And it doesn't seem like you use up anywhere as much ink as I thought I would be using. I was very surprised when I looked at all of the ink reservoirs for these colors that I used. You know, I like, how much ink did I use? And I could hardly even tell. So that was pretty crazy. So I saved only 2 things to buy on Prime Day, and the Amazon Basics, I had already made my purchase and wasn't going to buy any more pencils. But when I saw that price that I talked about in the previous video and the discount, the 20% off, I thought, okay, I have to try this out. That way I can get a full set for people to try instead of just the 24. 24 was just not enough. That doesn't give everyone the full experience. So I'm seeing a difference. These I started and I made a pie shape on the ends. These I was just going straight across. I think I like the pie shaped shading look better, so I'm going to go back to that. And I will say, for how light this paper is, being not a cardstock, I have been able to do a lot of reworking. It does get a little bit furry. It's you know, the fibers get worked up. But for a fun project, oh, now we have thunder. And I'm not necessarily doing small circles. You could. I'm kind of going in lines. So to make this a pie, I have to go in and apply this green over the top of even the darkest blue. And it is having no problem with that. Some of this is dry, but some of it is still wet, and it still is layering over the top. Not necessarily blending, but it is definitely layering nicely. And if I wanted to be really picky and make some of these look a particular shape, I'm purposefully kind of fussing so you can see how workable or not workable these really are. So now you can see it has more of the pie shape look, which I actually prefer, and I was able to fix the ones that I had done the other way. And we are just about finished, and then this silly project will be completely 100% done. Which, my goal when I start this coloring group here in the community is to have a binder full of a variety of finished coloring projects to help people be inspired. Because a lot of people just need to see what's available to them, what kinds of projects they can do, what supplies make fun results. One person might love gel pens, another person might love the look of a Copic colored project, and then yet other people will like colored pencil. So I've definitely dropped back to only using 3 colors because the area is too small to realistically use 4 colors. I'm gonna go back in here with this light blue. And our last one, and this one's finished. All right. I'm going to, that's what it looks like finished. I am so proud of myself for sticking it out with these. I'm going to move out now. I will also do photography of this project and will post it at the end so you can see what the whole image looks like. Now, let's take a look and see if we can show you the shimmery. So you can see that the area that had the hardest time showing smooth shimmery is this saucer shape at the top, but using the pens in the smaller detailed spaces showed a lot more even transitions, and the lines from the pen tips don't show as much. So that is all I've got. That's my Tanmit Prime Day, end of my Prime Day purchases. Please leave any of your questions, comments, or concerns about this project, the gel pens, or anything else that comes to mind on this video. I will put, I don't have a gel pen category on my Amazon shop, so I will create one so that you will be able to see. I'll probably put it under episode 12. Sorry, this is episode 13, isn't it? The other video with the Amazon basics was 12. So this will be episode 13. I'm not doing a very good job of announcing that at the beginning. And I will create a shop, and it is an affiliate shop. So if you do happen to buy anything from those links, I will get a small commission at no cost to you. And as always, thanks for watching.